everybody. Welcome to Coming Up Roses. I'm Kevin.
And I'm Kelly, and today is Saturday, June 4th, 2022. This is episode 64.
64, the big 64. Like the highway, but not.
64? Yeah. It took me a second, but I get it. I'm catching on to your flow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, here's my notes for this week. Just the date and episode 64. Got no notes.
And it's not that we didn't have anything going on this week.
Kevin's been busy today.
Yeah. Well, all week, really.
Yeah.
Well, because the task was we got this tree outside of the kitchen window, and it's overgrown. So we had to, I spent a lot of the week just making little cuts on it, cutting little limbs off until I got to a point where I couldn't reach anymore. And then we had a saw and a stick, and that didn't work out. So then we had a tree in the back that we took down, and a tree in the front that we completely took down.
The one in the back is the one by the air conditioning unit.
Mm-hmm.
That one's now completely gone.
It's gone.
Good. That thing was just a beetle trap.
Yeah. Yeah, but now there's nothing there. Well, there's a little bit of stump at the bottom because I don't have any way to grind that down or anything.
Yeah, we'll talk about that another time because I'm sure some mom and dad will have 1,000 ideas of what you can do.
I got an idea, but anyway, set that shit on fire. No.
Not right next to the house. That's a great idea.
But got out all, and Troy came today. Thank God for Troy. Troy is awesome. We got the rest of. He had a saw and a stick, and was able to do some more of the sawing for me. And then we got it all hauled off to the dump. So
to the
dump. The first load we were going to take to the stinky dump, the one that's in that little building off of.
If you live in Virginia Beach and you're watching.
Yeah. Well, we've talked about the stinky dump before.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah. But ended up going out to the big dump, which is at the hill. And thankfully, they didn't make us drive up the hill. But then the second one we took to the stinky dump because it was not as crowded as it was when we got there at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Exciting.
Yeah.
I know. But then you went over and helped him put a shed together?
Yep.
So you got a nice little workout today?
Mm-hmm. The shed was interesting because it was all pieces. It was big.
It's like a big
rubber.
Giant 3D puzzle.
Yeah. And they clicked together and they fit together, and then there were little screws that you put in to hold it together, but they were hand screws. Everything was the only tool we used was a screwdriver at one point to secure the roof, and that was it. Everything else was done by hand, and it was interesting. It was fun.
Does that light go up anymore, or is that the brightest that light goes?
Let me see.
There's so many shadows, but I can't tell if it's my eyes that are the shadows or. That's a little better.
Okay, we'll do that.
Yeah, I got up with you this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not exactly with you. I woke you up because I was afraid that you were oversleeping. And so I asked Alexa what time it was, and she told us. But then you got up, and I got up pretty soon after you. But I just worked on some Canvas training for school for about an hour this morning, and then...
What's Canvas training?
We're switching our online learning platform from Schoology to Canvas.
Oh.
And so we have to do this very long, hours long Canvas training.
Weren't you using that for editing?
No, that's Canva.
Oh.
That's different. Canvas is you can go in and set your course up, and you put your syllabus in there, and you can put basically folders or chapters that have information or videos or reading assignments and quizzes, and the kids log on to it so they can see everything that's due for the...
So
it's really mainly...
Do your lessons plans in there.
Yeah, but it's really not kindergarten friendly. It's not something I'm going to really use in its intended form. But older kids, high school, any colleges use Canvas. At grades, and they can see their grades in real time and stuff like that.
Okay.
So I'm going through all this training and I'm probably never going to use this. as a kindergarten teacher, but I still have to do all the training. So we differentiate for our students, but not so much for our staff.
Yeah.
But that's okay. So I did that a little bit, and there's assignments we have to do and like quizzes we have to take and all that go with it. So I worked on that, and then when y'all left, I took a nap. I went back to bed for a little while. But, you know.
Yeah. And that's been our week.
It's exciting.
Well, no, you went out last night. That was nice. That was
I
fun.
did. We had our last staff get together at this brewery down the street from us here. They've got quite a setup.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have an outdoor area that's probably bigger than their indoor area, but it's built like a U shape.
Mm-hmm.
And it has this canopy over the top and all these tables and stuff set up underneath it. And then they have a bar outside.
Nice.
And then they have a brick wall built around it that you can sit on. So it's seat height brick wall.
Okay.
And then on the other side of the brick wall, they have fire pits and cornhole boards. And they have a little band area. Basically, kids can just run around and do whatever they want.
Kids there?
Oh, there were a lot of kids there.
Yeah.
I mean, the place was packed when I got there, not just from our school, but it was packed. I mean, I never even went inside. I just stayed outside. And then the canopy, which is like a U-shaped canopy overhead, they retracted it once it started getting a little bit dark to let some more light in under there. And they had they pipe music out there, and I think you can order at the bar, and they give you a number, and then, I mean, you don't even have to walk inside the place. So you would like it. We should go there sometime.
Yeah.
When it's not a Friday night.
Yeah.
Because it was...
Well, I work Friday nights anyway.
I mean, it was crowded, but I didn't feel because we were outside.
Yeah. It's nice.
Yeah. It was nice. They got it going on. They built that brewery initially. There was a beer company that was in there first that didn't make it. And then New Realm took it over. And I guess they're out of Atlanta. And they've just done so much with it. Yeah. It is a major
They're
event
treating
space.
it like a venue, not just a brewery.
Yeah, it's like a venue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was smart on their part.
Yeah.
Because a lot of breweries do that now. They'll do it as a venue, as an experience, not just, and they'll still ship their beer out to locals. But
yeah,
it's smart.
So it's pretty nice. It was pretty nice. Didn't stay very long. Mm-hmm. Brought a chair because they were like, "Oh, bring your chairs. You set your own chairs and whatever up." Didn't even need that because I just sat along the brick wall, and it was fine. But yeah, so it was good. We're down to 2 weeks left at school. 9.5 days with the kids. And all the fun, we're having a pizza party field day is this Friday, and we're doing pizza for lunch. We're ordering it for the kids. And
that's nice.
we did little ice cream surprise treat Friday afternoon, this past Friday.
That's cool.
And then we're doing an ice cream social kind of thing for our end of year party.
That's
I don't
our
know
ring
what
doorbell.
that was.
Because of the ring doorbell.
There was nothing there.
No, mom just walked by.
Oh.
So, there she is. She's looking for a big old box.
Yeah, so...
Well, that happened this week, too. We always get deliveries. And there was one that came.
This huge box from Amazon. And I was like, Kevin's like, "Oh, it's for you." And I was like, what did I order? And that big. I couldn't even think of what I could have ordered. So,
but you had your laptop on your lap because you were doing something, so you asked me to open it.
Yeah, I'm like, "Can you just open it and see what that is?" Because I was busy, and so he opens it and he pulls it out, and I'm like, "Oh my God, that's what I bought him for his birthday." And he was like, he's like, "I still don't even know what it is," but I ended up giving it to him today. But
so we can carry our gear for the podcast.
Yeah.
When we go to Hatteras. Because I am 100% down for doing the show while we're down there.
Yeah, so I couldn't believe I was like, I am such an idiot. Struggling to find anything for your birthday anyway, because
That happened one time. They bought me a nice coffee pot for Christmas, and Michael just brought it in and put it on the couch. Didn't think nothing of it, but it was in the box. Like, it wasn't an Amazon box that was anonymous or anything. It was just in the box. So I put it in my mother-in-law's room, and just they kind of assumed that Michael put it back there. No, I did that.
But then today, Mom mentioned something, and I'm like, oh, I could get that for Kevin for his birthday. So I went ahead and gave him this because, I'm terrible at shit like that. It's so bad. So Kevin's birthday's coming up in a couple weeks.
June 15th. Day after
Tilly's
Flag Day.
birthday is on Tuesday. So
should be four?
Should be 5.
5, Jesus.
Yeah. Can you believe it? You're 5 years old.
She's 5. She's a good girl. She's just sitting down there on the bed.
It's been sweet. So other than that, the weight loss journey is still creeping along. I'm averaging about 2 pounds a week, which I've always said I'd rather take it off slow because then you tend to keep it off.
Mm-hmm. And you're learning habits. It's not just, don't eat this or whatever. You're learning habits that are good to have. Eating slower, chewing, avoiding the sugar.
I don't know. The sugar I am still avoiding. I'm doing really good at avoiding sugar. The eating slow and timing the meals and all, it just kind of depends. And yesterday, I didn't want to eat while we were at New Rome. But trust me, like, they have these big soft pretzels and like, oh gosh, it looks so good. But by the time I left there, I was like seriously hungry, like hungrier than I'm supposed to get, because when you're really that hungry, you tend to eat things you shouldn't eat, which is exactly what I did. But I ran through like the McDonald's drive-thru on the way home. I found out I was really more like dehydrated than hungry.
Thirsty, yeah.
Yeah. But I got, some chicken nuggets, which I didn't even eat half of them. And some fries, which I ate a few, but they didn't even taste good. Yeah. I was like, oh, this just isn't. And I don't know if it was just not a great, they should have been good. McDonald's are my favorite French fry. Mm-hmm. Or if I've just reset my taste buds so much that just doesn't.
Could be a little of both.
Because we really haven't been doing fast food. Mm-hmm. So I didn't really eat much of the dinner. Enough that I didn't feel like I was still hungry. But when I woke up this morning, I was pretty hungry. And I have probably not been very careful about what I eat today. But that's the weekends for me, which I have to get under control soon. We're going to have to do some shopping and get some, like, healthier stuff in here. Yeah. So, there's that. I'm still losing. What I'm noticing is a trend now. It's like I'll maintain the same for a couple days, and then I'll lose, and then I'll maintain, and then I'll lose. Again, which is all fine. But I've been walking a little bit more and that kind of thing. So it's all good. All good. Decided when we went and played cards over at Robin and Tori's the other night, we're like, oh, we should get to play Yahtzee or to play, games, because we just don't do that. We're on our devices too much. So my vision is quickly failing. Like, I feel like every day it just gets worse and worse. But so they had these bigger dice, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna order some big dice. So we get these. I ordered 6 dice. This is the size of the dice, right? They're pretty huge. And then I was like, I'm going to order this Yahtzee pad that said large print. And I'm like, oh, perfect, right? This is the size of the Yahtzee pad.
And it is large. I I didn't have trouble writing in it at all.
It was so funny to me. I was like, this is what I've become. I've become the jumbo Yahtzee pad and the jumbo dice.
That's good stuff.
Funny. Yeah, you really do have, it works some muscles out to roll those 5 dice. We've been using dice a lot in my classroom, but we have the foam ones, so they don't make all the noise. Yeah.
Like they're doing The Price is Right or Let's Make a Deal.
Yeah. Because kids love to roll dice. And the farther they can get the dice to go across the floor, the better. So the foam ones are bigger. They're like this size. But they're made out of foam, so they make no noise, which is lovely for me. So, anyway, that's all that's really going on in our little world.
Not much this week. A couple weeks we'll be down in Hatteras. Looking forward to that. And then Father's Day, my birthday, that's coming up.
Yeah, I thought maybe I did it on my phone.
What's that?
Oh, that can't be right. Oh, there they are. Never mind. I saved some stories I wanted to talk to you about on my iPad. So, you want to get in, just hop into this first one?
Sure.
So, in an effort to look for more positive news, because the world is full of shit, and I can prove it, I now have a theme song that Robin shared with me. I can't play it, probably because it'd be a copyright infringement. But let's just say there's not a word in the song that's not a curse word. And it sounds like the 1930s, like a USO girls, USO, the ones that wore the... Yeah, it sounds like that. So here's this story. Relief for kids with peanut allergies.
Oh, that's good.
Immunotherapy puts 74% into remission.
Wow.
Right? I mean...
I can't think of a bigger nightmare than being allergic to peanuts. I really can't. I mean, I guess there are kids out there that are allergic to milk, and that's a real nightmare too, but damn.
I think the peanut allergy is so severe, though.
Yeah.
Like, they could die within minutes. Some of them are so severely allergic.
It's such a horrible thing to live without peanut butter. Can you imagine it? I can't.
I mean, I guess if you've never had peanut butter.
Yeah.
But, so anyway, it's an Australian research study, and they're using immunotherapy.
Okay.
So they have identified key immunological changes that support the remission of peanut allergy in children. So basically what it is they reprogram the immune response to peanuts in these kids.
If they do it for peanuts, I'm sure they'd be able to figure it out for other things too. But that's pretty awesome.
So, I mean, it's a gene issue. I guess I'm just, skimming through this and not really reading it entirely. But, so they said what we found was profound differences in network connectivity patterns between children who are allergic and those who are in remission. So... Let's see, 64 peanut allergic children from Melbourne, age 1 to 10, received a combination treatment of a probiotic and oral immunotherapy, gradual introduction of the allergic food, or a placebo. Following 18 months of treatment, 74% taking the combination treatment achieved remission.
That's not bad.
Compared to because some kids will just outgrow the peanut allergy anyway.
Yeah. But still, it's...
I mean, that's some good news.
That is very good news, yeah.
That's some good news. Some schools are so anti-peanut butter. Where my school is not. Like, we have, you put signs up on your classroom door if you have kids with peanut allergies. And then as the teacher, you have to be aware that they can't, of where they're sitting. And I've had years where kids have had to sit, like, at their own table in the cafeteria because they couldn't be even around anybody. And... our school division doesn't ban peanut butter for everyone. So you have to remove the child because they could possibly, sometimes even just...
The whiff of it
can cause a reaction. So I have had years where a kid had to sit by themselves at a table. Or they could sit with someone who we checked to make sure did not have any, peanut butter or peanut, stuff in their lunch. But, our school still sells the, Crustables or Uncrustables or whatever they're called. So, but there are schools that completely ban the use of any kind of peanut butter. Like, you cannot, no kids can bring peanut butter.
Yeah, that's
or anything with peanuts. School. So, I mean, I guess if it seems more and more prevalent with kids to have these terrible allergies. They ought to look into why that is.
Probably because kids don't play in dirt anymore.
No, but you can be born with a peanut allergy, though.
Yeah, I guess.
So anyway, I thought that was some good news.
Yeah.
Promising,
I'm down.
Second one I saw that really I thought was sweet. They brought puppies into a nursing home.
Oh, I saw that. I looked at Good News Network too, and I saw that. That was good.
Yeah.
I even suggested that at work one time, that they, just bring a bunch of puppies from a shelter in, and the people might adopt them or no. Really doesn't matter. It's just, you take calls for the cable company. It's stressful. So if you could take a break, go down and play with some puppies for a good 10 minutes, that'll set you right. So I got a puppy that takes care of me when I'm having a bad day. So.
They brought in Pomeranians and British Bulldogs.
Oh.
And they just let them visit all the senior citizens. A lot of these seniors in like these homes really suffered through COVID.
Yeah.
I mean, they were cut off from their families and...
Yeah, because they wouldn't let anybody in.
They weren't letting anybody in. So they said, obviously everybody knows the effects of petting dogs and, lowers depression and all kinds of things. So I thought that should be like a normal weekly, we're coming with the puppies from,
From wherever.
From wherever. But yeah, I thought that was a really sweet idea. I know they take dogs to hospitals, like children's hospitals and probably even adult hospitals. They have dogs that are trained, just to go and help the kids and whatever. It's such a good idea.
Yeah.
Dogs are like the best,
That's right.
Tilly, after I went in and laid down and took a nap, decided it was time for me to get up. And I heard her scratch at the door, and, like, the gap underneath the door, I could just see, like, the shadow of her 2 little feet standing there. She will stand there for so long. Like, she doesn't give up. She's just like, I will just stand here until Mommy opens the door. Just so sweet. And then this story's, not really a feel-good story, but when that shooting happened in Texas, that school shooting... the initial reports came out that a teacher had propped the door open. Turns out that wasn't true.
Oh, thank God.
And the teacher who was blamed for propping the door open is having all kinds of, like, mental issues. And they were bringing food in for an end-of-year party.
Oh.
And they had opened the door, and she put a rock there to keep the door from closing while they were carrying food in.
Right.
And she went out the door, and someone who was outside, like, she saw the accident where he crashed into the ditch or whatever. And she either went in to get her phone to call 911 and was walking back out, and one of the other adults there was like, he's got a gun, whatever, he's coming. So they came in, and she kicked the rock, and the door swung shut, but it didn't lock.
Oh. Well, that's not on her, then.
No, but can you imagine that goes out to the media? They release your name and everything as being the person.
See, they don't
who propped that door open.
There was no reason for them to put that woman's name out there like that.
No.
There's no reason for them to put that woman's name out there. In those type of situations, there's things that they should never do. They should never put the shooter's name out there, ever. That's one of the reasons why these people do that, is they want some measure of fame. I want my life to mean something, so I'll go up and shoot up a bunch of kids or whatever so that my name's still remembered. No, you don't put that person's name out there. You just, ever.
How horrible for this person. And, it's bad enough knowing I was the last one through that door and it didn't shut behind me. You've got to carry, even that's got to make you feel...
Yeah.
Like, those lives are on you. Even if,
Well, I'm sure that she's got guilt, survivor's guilt, and all of it.
I can't even imagine. Now, our doors at school lock when they close, but we have had time, we have had times where, they'll be like, double check that it's closed all the way, because if like the floor mats, there'll be floor mats outside and inside. Sometimes they get pushed up under and it'll just slow it down enough that it doesn't hit the lock. And it sounds like it's closing, but it really isn't. And so someone on the other side could still pull it open. I always, in the morning when I come in that door, I stand there and wait until I hear that lock, close all the way before I keep walking in. But I can't, this poor woman, I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine how guilty you would feel.
It's bad.
We have a door in my classroom that goes out to the playground. And we've been kind of struggling a little bit with it this week because it sticks really bad. And it has a deadbolt on it, and then the knob has a lock. And you can't use your key to unlock the deadbolt from the outside. You have to use the key from the inside to unlock it. Mm-hmm. So we have to open the deadbolt and then lock the handle. But again, that door comes closed. It doesn't come closed hard enough that unless you really push it closed all the way, it's still, because we've been really vigilant about it this week. And there have been a couple of times where I've been in the room and like I hear the door open, I turn around and it's a kid coming in to go to the bathroom. Like, how'd you get the door open? It just doesn't catch. So they need to change those doors so that they're heavier, or more easily, like they boom close, Yeah. Like the ones at the end of the doors, at the end of the hallways.
Those doors are awesome because they're real thick and heavy. Mm-hmm. There's no getting through them, really. So
I hope not. But yeah, we had to have the custodians come out and like try to fix it so that it would, because if we push it to make sure it locks, then you have a hard time getting it open again. Like, I was inside trying to push it open from the inside, and I was like, oh, goodness. Like, you really have to put your whole weight into it to pop it open. So I think that's going to be something they have to look at. And then a kid out this week, he brought his little stuffed animal that he sleeps with every night. Because he goes back and forth between mom and dad's house. Yeah. And so he has it in his backpack with him probably every day. And he wanted to take it outside. And I said, probably not a good idea. If you take it out there, you can't. If you put it down because you want to go play, someone's liable to pick it up. Like, you just don't know what could happen to it. It's safer staying inside. Just leave it in your backpack. Well, he decided he was, smarter than me, which a lot of them in the last week or so have decided they're smarter than me.
I've done finished kindergarten, so I must be smarter than Mrs. Rose.
I know. So he wanted to take it out. Whatever. He wasn't out there 10 minutes. And he was throwing it up and catching it and throwing it up and catching it. Well, he really whipped it up and it went on the roof. And so I'm like, oh my God. So I go out. He's like boo-hooing, of course, because there's his little doggy up there. I'm like, this is why I told you. See, kid, you're not smarter than me. This is why I told you not to bring it out here. So I went back inside and I emailed our principal and I'm like, hey, weird question. Like, do we have access to the roof? Because a kid took his beloved animal and against my advice, and that's where it ended up. So I didn't think anything more about it, really. And then the kids came in. And the little kid said, well, I guess I have to give it up sometime. It's like, So my principal and the custodian came through. They had these big, mops, and they were trying to sweep it off, and it went into the gutter. So then they had to get the ladder out and climb up there and get it out. But they were able to save him. I said, do not take that dog out of your backpack again. It stays in there. They just, they've gotten, it's the last 2 weeks of school. They're done listening. They're done following directions. Yeah. And, we had this ice cream thing Friday, and I had 2 boys that just repeatedly all day long were very slow to follow directions. And I was like, they just don't deserve this treat. because I've been on them all day, and they're kind of like just ignoring me and doing what they want. Well, 3 kids, actually. And the one kid, I was like, there's no way that I'm allowing this kid to participate in a treat, because he's been not good. So we got him rehomed for a little while, brought the ice cream in, and I had said to Robin, yeah, these 2 boys too, I'll have them sit in another room or whatever. And so when she comes in with the ice cream, I was just like, or when she went to get the ice cream, I'm just such a pushover. Like, one of the kids, I know he's starting to act up, and I think it's because he knows the school year is coming to an end. Mm-hmm. And honestly, his home life's not great. So it's like he's one of those kids that school is really the stable place, you know? And I was like, I can't keep them from... I just feel like it's so horrible. So I talked to both of them. I said, we're going to have this ice cream treat, but you guys haven't been listening, so I really think I need to find another place for you to be. And the sad little faces. And I'm like, now let's, like, next time I need, need you to remember there's just no way I could do it. So Robin came in, and I'm like, I'm going to let them go ahead and have... She's like, oh, good. Thank you. She's like, I was feeling so bad about it. Now, the third kid, I had no trouble with not letting him have it. But he really, really, really didn't deserve it. Mm. It was more than just, being slow to follow along. So, but, oh, man. Like, this is why I'm such a push. This is why they don't listen to me.
I don't think so. I think they're 5. So.
Yeah. When I was 5, I listened to my teachers.
Yeah.
If my teacher said, of course, they never said this because it didn't exist, but it's time to put the iPads away. I didn't take 10 minutes to decide I was going to put my iPad away.
Yeah.
After being,
that is a generational thing. Yeah, that is a generation.
Oh my God, just complete, I'm not even going to listen.
Well, that's because their parents were the ones that just, here, kid, put this in your face, and so I can go do what I want to do.
I had one kid this week got so mad because I said we have 1 more minute left, and we were doing this math activity, like an addition activity. And I put 1 minute. He was sitting at my table with me, and I said 1 minute on the timer. I put it on the timer. He could even see it. The timer went off, and he got so pissed because he wasn't done yet. Why did you only put 1 minute on the timer? Got up, pushed his chair against the table, crying, stomping his feet. I was like, seriously? I just told you could stop doing your work, Why'd you only put 1 minute? I said, because I'm the teacher, and I know what our schedule is, and we're going, we have to go to PE, and we've got to line up, and so...
Well, there's something to be said for a kid that wants to complete his work. That's good.
And there's something also to be said for a kid who can stomp his feet and scream and cry and yell at his teacher and throw his chair against the table because I had the nerve to put a 1 minute timer. Gosh. That's where I'm just like, what in the world? I tell you not to do the work. To stop working, you get pissed. I tell you we have to do the work, you get pissed. Unless I'm just letting them free roam all day, they're not happy. So, 9 more days. 9 more days. We can do it. So anyway, that's that.
What's that?
Anything else from you this week?
Nothing really. Just, it's work.
Kevin got a reprieve from helping me pack my room up. It won't
Maybe.
give him the time off work.
I'm hoping that they'll reconsider when it gets closer to the time. That's my hope. Because, I'll take a day off, however I can. I was supposed to go with her to Friday, but they said they couldn't do it. We were.
Now, that wasn't a big deal. That was not worth putting a ton of effort into getting time off. I was only there for an hour.
Yeah. And then, but the 17th, I'd really like to take off because, there's only been, in the 15 years that we've been married, I've only missed.
I know you haven't been at school at all in the last couple of years.
Yeah. Well, I went last year.
On the last day.
The last day.
Yeah.
Because I hung out. They were behind your room.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'm hoping they do that again. That was really nice. I might suggest it.
Yeah, because that's when Christine was leaving and whatnot and everything.
It was nice to be outside and under the...
I happened to show up as the food was being delivered, and I helped them carry it in, and they were like very appreciative.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Make sure the door shuts behind you, though, if you do that again this year. Gosh, there was something else I was just going to say. Oh, as far as going to the happy hour, I am such an introvert. I don't really enjoy social gatherings. And so I had the strangest dream on Thursday night.
She told me about it.
I had this dream that, because I knew I was going to this thing Friday. It's really not a big deal. Like, for everyone else, it's just nothing, right? But I had this dream that Mom and I had gone to this Color Street event and at the ocean front, and it got all, I left my shoes on the sidewalk before we went into the hotel, and the thing got all mixed up, and Mom ended up leaving early, and whatever. I was ready to come home, and I called, and she couldn't come pick me up, so I had to walk home, which is 4 miles, or the ocean front's 4 miles from our house, but then where I was in my dream was, further down. And I'm like, I'm going to have to walk home barefooted because someone stole my shoes. And I tried to call Uber, but my phone didn't have enough charge to, connect to Uber. Mom said she couldn't come get me because Dad and Michael were eating dinner.
And apparently I didn't exist.
Yeah, well, you were probably working. That was just in my dream assumption that you were at work. But I was crying, and I'm like, I'm going to have to walk all the way down. And I was walking, the really long way, which is probably, I don't know how many miles, down Laskin Road back up London Bridge.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, and I woke up the next morning, and I was, telling Kevin about this dream, and I was like, I bet you this is because of this social event I have to go to tonight.
Probably.
I went anyway, though. I muscled through, and Kevin said, talk to other people other than Robin.
And you did.
I know. Because I'm not a complete idiot.
I know.
I'm not going to get in there and hover in the corner. Mm-hmm. But, yeah. So anyway, that was pretty funny. Introvert, through and through. No part of me. I've been seeing, your family posting, drunk slip and slide and shit like that for the,
yeah, I won't
vacation house and whatever. And I'm like, oh. Okay. Yeah. My plans
maybe
are...
the younger crowd.
My plans are to, read and sit by the pool and maybe take a day and go to Ocracoke.
I like to go to Ocracoke.
Yeah. I operate on a much different speed.
Last time we went to Ocracoke, we went with my dad, so that was good.
Yeah. I wonder how much Fireball is going to be there.
We can bring our own. We got 3 or 4 bottles over there.
That's Firefly. Fireball is completely different.
Oh.
They like Fireball, that cinnamon whiskey.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. They'll probably be a bit. We'll bring some Firefly.
I have to stay away from the alcohol because it's just too much sugar. Not that I would have drank anyway.
You can do one of those Firefly lemonade things.
Yeah, maybe I'll do one of those a day. That'll be my.
All right, so we've got some
for the weeks.
table topics. We went back to the old classic dinner party.
Yeah, the original dinner party. What indulgence would you enjoy if there were no consequences?
Oh, just food, cookies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've been trying. I'm being a good boy, but it is damn hard when there's cookies in the house. I mean, oh my God.
Yeah.
I just, sometimes I'm sitting there looking at them like, God damn, I really want to eat that cookie.
Sometimes if that's sticking with you for a really long time, you should just eat the cookie and be done with it. Mm-hmm. Just eat a cookie and be done with it.
If I'm going to do that, then I'll eat one of them kitchen sink cookies.
Yeah. Why not go for the big gourmet cookie? Yeah. Not just a little Chips Ahoy.
Yeah.
I'll spend $4 on a cookie.
Yeah. Fuck yeah! If I'm gonna sit there and torture myself not eating cookies and then say I'm gonna eat one cookie, it's gonna be the $4 fucking cookie. It's gonna be the kitchen sink.
Panera has a kitchen sink cookie. It's so
that
good.
Is awesome, fantastically good.
Or
I'll go up to damn PMS Deli and get one of those ones with the peanut butter cup in the middle of it.
That's the best cookie in there. That is the best cookie. They make a peanut butter cookie with a Hershey Kiss in the middle. Oh, it's so good. Is bank robbery an indulgence? If there were no consequences, that would be awesome. I mean, same here. Food would probably be it. What other kind of indulgence is there?
People watching were like, yeah, obviously.
Well, this has not been with no consequences.
Yeah. All right. What's your favorite joke?
My favorite joke. I have a lot of favorite jokes.
Mm-hmm.
A cousin of mine once told me this joke. It's super corny, but it stuck with me through the years. That a string went into a bar, and it went up to the, bartender and ordered a beer, and the bartender said, "Oh, I'm sorry, we don't serve strings here." So he left, and he tied himself all up, and he came back, and he ordered a beer, and the bartender said, "I'm sorry, we don't serve strings here," and the string said, "No, I'm afraid not," or something like that. I don't remember exactly. Messed up his hair, tied himself into a knot. There's a joke Dad tells, but I won't tell it. His joke about Jesus and Moses and the boat.
Oh.
Yeah, but I won't tell that joke because it's,
I like a good old classic, That's What She Said. That's there's millions of situations where it's funny, and it's almost never not funny.
Did Robin show you the video of them putting the treadmill into the truck? I guess her brother, she had a treadmill that her brother was taking, and they were loading the treadmill up into the truck, and it was, Troy and Robin's brother and Ben, and her dad was out there supervising. And they were putting it on, and somebody said, "Do you have about 6 more inches?" And someone was, "That's what she said." And her dad started laughing.
That's awesome.
Those are your favorite kind of jokes? Mm-hmm. Yeah. They're pretty funny. If they're well-timed.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's classic. It's good stuff.
My kids at school can tell some damn stupid jokes. I mean, and it is a daily occurrence. We either have to play Guess My Animal, or they have some kind of jokes to tell me as we're waiting for buses to leave, which is the worst time of day to have a conversation with me. Mm-hmm. Because I'm usually, at the end of what I can comprehend, people talking to me. I just don't want to be talked to anymore.
Yeah.
And they talk nonstop because we're not really doing anything but just sitting around and waiting. So it's a good time to have a conversation. But they don't understand that when they talk together at the same time, it's a little overwhelming for my brain at that time of day. But one of them came up and they were like, "I have a joke." I was like, "Oh, their jokes always suck, always." And I was like, "What's the joke?" And she goes, "Why did the chicken cross the road?" And I was like, "I don't know why." And they said, "So he could have some dinner." And they all start laughing. Mm-hmm. I'm like, "Oh, funny." I try to teach them funnier jokes, knock-knock jokes and stuff that are actually funny. And then they just start making up their own dumb knock-knock jokes. I'm like, oh my gosh. One of these days, a kid's going to say a joke that's actually funny, that they haven't made up, that, they don't understand at the age. They don't get
remember when Cole was young and it was the potato joke.
Mm-hmm. What has 2 eyes and can't see a potato?
Yeah. So he was he was reading it. He was reading it off of a book that we bought him. He was, 5, 6 years old?
6, yeah.
And he just read it out, and apparently the punchline was right after the period, and he just read it all out. So we were all sitting there, what can't see a potato?
Yeah, what has eyes but can't see a potato? And then it dawned on us that the potato was the answer.
That was hilarious.
So funny. All right. If you could design a postage stamp, what would be on it?
Oh, Waylon.
Really?
Yeah, Waylon Jennings.
You answered that like you've thought about it.
I have thought about it. Because I've already got postage stamps for Elvis and
Stop.
Maybe Stan Lee.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. You really think of these things. I'm like, what would be on it? Then I have to come up with something on the fly, and it's always dumb compared to what you've been thinking of for 10 years.
What would you put on a stamp?
What?
Color Street.
No. I put that on my fingernails.
Mm.
I don't know. It would be simple. A heart which I'm sure has been done.
Yeah, for like heart cancer.
The American flag. Like, I really do just believe that. Why do we have to have all these fancy frickin' stamps?
Stamp collectors. That's why to do it.
Okay. I don't know what I would put on it. Be kind. That's what I would put on there.
There you go. What percentage of your salary would you give up to guarantee that no one would ever be homeless? We've read this one before.
We have read that one before.
Yeah, we have read that one before. But, you know.
Here, we'll switch it out.
Yeah.
You can't guarantee nobody would ever be homeless.
Yeah, they can't.
And no percentage of my salary would
work.
Would help that.
What's your favorite breed of dog?
I'd be homeless if I gave up any of my salary.
Yeah.
My favorite breed of dog? Oh, I can't say that with her sitting right there.
I know. It's hard.
My first favorite breed of dog is Boxer, and only because I was raised on Boxers. I highly, highly recommend if you have a young family, Boxers are the way to go. My second favorite breed of now, of course, whatever breed Tilly is, which is Chihuahua something mix.
We spent way too much money to
She
find
has
out.
some flaws. She's flawed. But aren't we all?
She's fierce.
She's fierce.
She is very fierce. She's got personality.
She was giving Troy the what for when he came in today until he sat down, and then she was right over there, like, on her back, letting her, And then you stand up, and she's all in your face again, or at your ankles.
I'll fight you, motherfucker.
You don't walk near my mommy.
You hugging grandma? No way, bastard.
I mean, she's been the sweetest. Well, the Boxers I have been the sweetest dogs. Yeah. Dempsey was the sweetest dog I ever had.
Yeah, Dempsey was...
There was not an aggressive bone in that dog. He loved everybody. He wanted to play all the time. He was smart. I mean, he had gestures and whatever. Tilly is... And then there, of course, Libby was very sweet, but she had some flaws too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm noticing that most dogs that I've been in charge of are ending up flawed.
Mm-hmm.
Tilly is just smart.
Yeah.
And kind of cunning and fiercely protective, but the best cuddler ever.
Yeah, she's a good cuddle dog.
Such a good cuddle dog. She's finally figured out she can sleep between us on the bed.
Mm-hmm.
And we have her soft little blanket. She comes up and she curls up right next to me, and I just put my arm around her, and she goes right under the blanket, and she's been staying there all night. So we're getting ready to take her other bed out because she just digs on it and humps it. Yeah. That bed. All right, ready?
Yep.
What's your favorite fast food meal?
Ooh, I mean, it varies, but I mean, like the other day I had 2 chicken chalupas. I mean, that's a good... It's not one you have all the time, though. I mean, I have one that I like from the various different fast food joints.
Yeah, there's like a favorite from each joint.
Yeah.
But if you were just going to be like, this is your last fast food meal ever, what would you choose?
Jesus.
I can tell you it would not be Taco Bell for me.
No, it wouldn't be Taco Bell for me either. Probably, goddamn.
It would be either Arby's.
Yeah, the brisket.
Or Chick-fil-A for me. Probably Chick-fil-A.
Yeah. Chick-fil-A's got a really good sandwich, and Arby's has got a really good sandwich. I'd have to I do like Arby's brisket, though. That brisket sandwich
You'd
they
lean
got
toward
is really
Arby's.
good.
Yeah, Arby's is pretty good, too. They got a gyro that's really good.
Yeah.
They got their beef and cheddar I had the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't had that in a long time. That's pretty good. Their curly fries with cheese sauce is really good. Yeah, wouldn't that be weird? Arby's is the one we go to the least amount. Like, we rarely will go to Arby's.
Yeah. You got to be in the mood for some of that stuff, though. You got to be in the mood for any of the fast
I can
food
tell you
joints
what my
anyway.
least favorite fast food is.
What's that?
Probably Hardee's.
Yeah.
Overall, they're good for breakfast.
They're very good for breakfast, but they're.
But you can't eat a
nighttime
Hardee's
stuff.
breakfast too far away from a bathroom either.
Yeah.
But it tastes good.
Yeah.
But for anything else, I will not go to Hardee's. Probably next on the line would be Burger King for me. I'm not a big Burger King fan.
I love a Whopper, but that's
The last time I had a Whopper, it wasn't even that good.
The last time we did, it was, the ones by the house here are bad. The one by your school has consistently been very good.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. Just
I could live without Burger King for the rest of my life.
I could do away with Burger
I could
King
live without. I was gonna say I could live without Hardee's, but those biscuits in the morning are really good.
Yeah. They did breakfast all the time. They do breakfast all the time. Bojangles has a really good biscuit, and they do all the time.
All day. Yeah. We need to stop talking about it.
Yeah, we need to stop.
Say that because I don't have a plan for dinner tonight.
Yeah.
Leave
in the comments what your favorite fast food is. Yeah. Would you rather have a great wardrobe or an amazing car? I've read this one before.
Oh, goodness.
Damn it.
All right.
Damn it.
Here, I'm going to give you two more because chances are you've read the last one.
Okay. Let's see. Are life experience meant to be, or are we in charge of our own destiny?
Say that one more time.
Are life experiences meant to be, or are we in charge of our own destiny?
We're 100% in charge of our own destiny. It's a mix of both.
Yeah.
Because I do think some things... I do believe a lot of times things happen for the best. Sometimes you really, really want a certain job, and it falls through. But if you look back, things always seem to work out.
That's true. Many times as I tried to get promoted at Cox, and then it didn't.
And then that department
those jobs
closes.
are all closed down, yeah.
But I think you are in charge of your own destiny.
Yeah.
You ultimately control what happens to you in life.
Yeah, I agree. I have a slightly different take on it because and I've talked about this before, when I was graduated high school, went through like a real deal college, but for an injury, it forced me to go back to my hometown, Suffolk. My life would have been different, for sure, drastically different, because I would have been in a different
But you could have gone back to school.
It would have been very difficult.
But you could have done it.
I could have done it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you made certain choices to do other things.
So I think you are in charge of your destiny, but there are times when fate lends a hand in some fashion or another. Mm-hmm. So just random shit that can happen, and I think there is a mix of both. Mm-hmm. I think you make a decision, you have a path set forth. And sometimes opportunity knocks, or sometimes there are setbacks that happen. Mm-hmm. The trick is being able to roll with it either way.
Well, I know when I was in school, I started working at this kind of like a Hallmark store. But it wasn't Hallmark. And I was really over school. Mm-hmm. Like, I just didn't want to go to school anymore. I was not really... I wasn't a bad student, but I never really applied myself.
Yeah.
And an opportunity came up to apply for a management position in the store that I worked at. So I was like, you know what? I think I'm just going to leave school and I'm going to do this instead, because I really, really liked that job until I became manager of it. And then... shortly after I became manager, they closed it down. So I basically was the manager through them closing the store and whatever. And I learned that I freaking hate retail. Hate it. And I was like, nope, this is not for me. I'm going to go back to school. So certain things come up in life. If that store hadn't closed and I had continued to manage it, I don't know if I ever would have gone back. But it kind of forced me back into where I really feel like I should have been all along. But and that's why I say things do tend to happen.
Yeah.
But again, you still have to drive the decisions.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a mix of both.
Mixed bag.
Yes, a mixed bag. Whose life do you find inspiring?
Wow. Okay. I mean, throughout history, there's people that have made their mark on the world, made the world a better place their whole life story. I mean, I don't know. I'm just trying to think, and I keep thinking about certain movies, like you look at like Ray or Walk the Line or the various Elvis movies or I guess there's.
Please don't tell me Elvis is your inspiration because he died on the toilet.
Yeah, no,
a drug overdose.
I guess my true inspiration is probably my dad, who lived life, not hurting anybody, not taking anybody's stuff, helping folks out when he could, and that's good enough for me. I don't have to set the world on fire. I don't have to be the guy that invents the next big blah 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 and whatever. I'm just happy, just making sure that you're happy and you're taken care of. Your mom and dad are taken care of. The family's good. If somebody needs some help and I can help them out, I'll do it. And I'm not out to hurt anybody. So,
I was thinking as you were talking, like the people I find most inspiring are not big celebrity, well-known names.
Yeah.
Like, I follow people on TikTok that I know I'll never meet, but that their children are battling cancer, or they've set up like the one little girl I followed that died in October or November. And her mom they're like doing nonprofit work now and raising money to help other families going through that. That to me is inspiring. Like, you took this tragic situation and you're trying to make good out of it.
For other people.
Because your child's not coming back.
Yeah.
People making those small differences, and the ones that can, like, I'm thinking about people I do know that live their life completely true to who they are, and they're not apologetic about it.
Yeah.
That I find inspiring because I can't always be that way. I'm not confident enough, I think, sometimes to just... I'm always very, aware of how what I'm saying impacts other people, and so I kind of hold back sometimes things that I am thinking, just because there's no point in me just saying something to disagree with the person or whatever. But people who can just be unapologetically them without being...
an asshole?
Yeah, without pushing their agendas on you. Those people I find inspiring. Because those are the ones that are actually going to make change in people.
Yeah.
You listen to any number of public figures spouting off whatever they're trying to spout off because it's good for their income,
their
career. You just never know, do these people actually believe what they're saying, or are they just trying not to alienate a certain segment of people?
Yeah.
And so, I don't know. I'm inspired by people who look to do good.
There you go.
Like people who take care of injured wildlife animals and take them in, and people who foster children and that kind of thing, not big money things. That's what's inspiring to me. Not that it necessarily changes me to be more inspirational, but you do what I can.
Do what I can.
I'm hoping that to be inspirational to the little people that I work with every day.
There you go.
So,
and that's important. Has your personality changed since you were little, or are you pretty much the same? Well, that's a stupid question. It has to.
And that's not true.
You don't.
You probably have changed a lot since you were little.
Yeah. I
probably have not.
Well, I don't know.
I've never been I've never had a huge circle of friends. I've never been social. I've never been super popular or the person everybody just wanted to be around. I had a tight-knit group growing up, even as a child.
Mm-hmm.
I was always older than I was. You know, because I was an only child for 5 years or 4 years. And my parents didn't talk to me in baby talk. Like, they used adult language. So I had a more mature outlook. And then being the oldest and having to babysit them at a young age and all, I just was that, like, responsible kind of, everything had to be my way kind of person. And I bet you I was like that even as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still like that. You, on the other hand, I think are very different from how you were as a kid.
I was very shy. I was very quiet when I was a kid, and that's different. That's changed. And I'm thinking of it more in the lines of, as you get older, just the physical changes that you have cause you to make changes. You know, the aches and the pains that you wake up with. You know,
but your personality stays the same.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, you're not going to be like this super outgoing youngster and then just a complete reclusive person as an adult.
True that.
You know, like, you kind of went the other way.
Yeah.
You were kind of reclusive as a kid, and now you're just, I mean, you'll talk to anybody about anything. You've got no, like, there's no... You don't second guess anything. You just go into it.
Well, one, I'm confident in my principles and beliefs,
right.
And I'm when I see somebody after I make that threat assessment, I'm like, this person can't hurt me. So if they can't hurt me, then we're good. Now, for some reason, I feel like this person could hurt me, which is don't run into that very often. I'm good.
Well, I think for me, growing up as a heavy person, I was always very aware of what other people thought of me.
Yeah.
You know, the stereotypical things people think about heavy people.
Yeah.
And I never wanted to be, like, I felt like I had to be overly polite and personable and agreeable in order for people to, like, look past that and, like me. And that has stayed with me. I mean, I guess recently, just in the past couple years, I've gotten a little bit more like, I don't care what that person... I think this helps. I don't care what that person thinks. Like, they can think what they want. People who don't mean anything to me, I don't care what they think.
Right.
People who do mean something to me, or that I have to work with, like, those I do. Mm-hmm. And I am, whether this is true or not, I am keenly aware that I'm being judged by almost everybody around me.
Yeah.
And whether I live up to what they're judging me as or not, I always feel like I have to be smiley and upbeat and, you know, snarky and sarcastic. Like, I have that personality of being the zinger, the one-liner. And that comes from just being, I think, heavy, you know.
You get that from your dad.
But I do. But, I mean, it's also a defense mechanism.
Yeah.
You know, I want people around me to be enjoying my company, even though I wouldn't be someone they would, like, look at in a crowd and say, I want to be friends with that person. You know? The super bubblies, they're like, oh, I want to be around that person. I am not that person.
No.
So, my whole life I've been aware of. Mm-hmm. I tend to be super agreeable in order for people like me.
Yeah, I get that.
Just since I turned 50, I've been like, fuck, why am I worrying? You know, the people who love me are going to love me no matter what.
That's right.
If anyone else is going to take an exit out of my life for whatever reason, then so be it.
Pack sand, motherfucker.
Yeah, if they don't want to find the time to come and talk to me, it's no big loss. I haven't lost anything because I never had it. So, I guess maybe I've slightly changed. I've become a little bit more confident in myself.
As you should, because you're awesome.
As, like, a professional person.
Yeah.
You know.
You're extremely good at what you do, so yeah.
All right, who's the scariest movie villain of all time?
Ooh. Old school Michael Myers comes to mind immediately, because it's the whole idea that you got this, like, 6-year-old kid who just starts killing. I mean, really, I mean, that, just, you know, and then, you know, of course, that's kind of petered off since then. with the sequels. Of course, Jaws. That's pretty.
Would you consider Jaws a villain?
Yeah, no, he's a fish. So
He's not even a fish, is he?
yeah.
Are sharks fish?
Yeah.
No, they give live birth. They're mammals, aren't they?
No, they don't breathe air. They don't.
But they give birth to live. They don't lay eggs, do they?
Yeah. They do live birth, but their eggs in the womb.
Well, so are humans. I mean,
but they're still classified as fish. They're not air breathing, and they're not warm blooded.
Okay.
So
I agree. I mean, I believe you. I'm gonna look it up anyway, though. I agree. I'm gonna look like a fool here, but it's just about what's.
I mean, you could go Vader, but Vader ended up,
I don't think Vader was scary.
Yeah, he wasn't scary. I mean, yeah, I harken back to old school Michael Myers. Really.
You're right. Sharks are fish. They're a special type of fish.
Yeah.
Because their body is made out of cartilage instead of bones.
Yeah. I want to hear in the comments, though, for real, who do you guys think is the scariest movie villain? So, what do you think?
I don't know. I'm not a big fan of scary movies, so...
Yeah.
I mean, I really should look at these questions ahead of time. I'm not good at thinking off the cuff, especially...
That's the whole point of this.
Well, I'm not a big scary movie fan, and when I think about the scariest movies I've seen, they're movies like Silence of the Lambs.
Mm-hmm.
So, what was this, Buffalo Bill?
Buffalo Bill.
Was pretty scary. Hannibal Lecter was pretty scary.
Yeah.
I think Hannibal Lecter may have been more scary than Buffalo Bill.
Ooh, you know who was scary? Rebecca De Mornay's character in
The Hand That Rocks the
Cradle. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Who was the one that boiled the rabbit?
Oh, that was
Glenn Close?
Glenn Close in... Oh, my God. Michael Douglas.
Yep. Wow.
Fuck, man.
Can't believe I can't remember the name of that movie. Alexa, what movie has Michael Douglas and Glenn Close been in?
I know about 5 Michael Douglas Glenn Close movies, and they are Fatal Attraction.
Fatal Attraction.
America. Hands Across America. Very Important Pen Ice. Uncut. Forever Fatal. Remembering Fatal Attraction. And Fatal Attraction. Visual Attraction.
Alexa, stop. Fatal Attraction.
Fatal Attraction.
That was scary.
That was scary.
There was also one with Michael Keaton where he was like at an apartment, or he had an apartment, or he bought in a Pacific Heights. It's creepy in that movie. Like, those kind of villains are super scary to me because they're like,
because it could
be
people.
real.
They're not supernatural.
Yeah, it's not
all.
supernatural or some thing that I don't believe in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's scarier to me, is like those real people that you're like, oh, you could come run across that person.
Yeah.
Probably have. We sometimes when we're going to work in the morning, we end up behind the same car, and we know it's the same car because of the license plate. That person could be like a complete serial killer, and we'd never know.
Talking about Grayskull?
Yeah.
Mm.
Probably
He-Man
not.
fan. He's,
but, you know, even I knew it was a He-Man reference.
Mm-hmm.
I think I impressed Kevin with my knowledge.
I did. I was deeply impressed. I was like, Grayskull. And she's like, oh, He-Man.
The He-Man movie.
I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I did have a brother who was into all of that. I didn't pay much
That's
attention
true.
as a kid, though. I was too busy being the responsible one.
All right, folks. Next week, we don't know. We got nothing going on this
week. Well, look, we did an hour and 10 minutes, and we didn't have any plans.
Yeah, so we'll maybe have nothing going on this week and have an hour.
Well, next week we can talk about Tilly's birthday.
Oh, yeah.
Because I did get Tilly a couple birthday presents.
Yeah, see how she likes that.
See how she likes them.
Maybe
and then
we'll get her to make an appearance.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
And then what else we got going next week? I don't know. I'll be recovering from field day.
Yeah,
no
and
doubt.
I still need to try to get the pool open tomorrow, or at least start on it. Jesus.
I know something's
June,
coming up
we
in my
haven't gotten the
memories
pool.
of like you were swimming in the pool on this day 5 years ago, and I'm like, dang, we don't even have the pool open.
Yeah, that's on me. I gotta.
Well,
really-
you have been busy doing other things. Not like you've just been sitting around doing nothing.
Still, I gotta get on the freaking ball.
Well, you and Mike,
Yeah,
hop on it
that's
tomorrow.
that's the deal tomorrow.
Get up early in the morning, get it done. That's what I say while I'm still sleeping. All right, y'all.
All right.
Have a great week. We'll see you next Saturday.
Bye, everybody.